Hey there, this is Christine Landl, and I am with my sister, my best friend, my business partner, Jennifer Ream, and we are so excited to be here on yet again another platform that we are creating and another chapter, another piece to our journey.
The Vibe Well podcast. This is Jennifer Ream. So excited to be here with you guys. Our intention for this podcast is all about sharing our love for all things wellness, holistic wellness that is. And we are here to uplift, plant some seeds, and support you on your wellness journey. We've always loved being able to be out there with our community, sharing all the things that we learn. And as we grow and learn new things, we love to put them out there, and maybe they'll plant some seeds for you and help you along your journey. So here we are. Let's get started.
Hey, welcome back. This is Christine Landl, and I'm here with my sister and best friend and business partner, Jen Ream. And we're so excited to be back again on our Vibe Well podcast and ready to get going on a hot topic that is near and dear to our hearts, something that has been very teachable moments this past year for us.
Good word for it.
Definitely a part of our personal growth plan, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And
whether we wanted it or not.
Yeah, we didn't ask for it, but that's usually how it works, right? So let's get right into it.
Yeah, so we're excited to kind of talk about health freedom today. So obviously, you know, by now, like health and wellness is our jam. That's what we love to talk about. And a pandemic definitely brings new information and new things to the surface, I guess you would say, when it comes to health and wellness and how we go about staying healthy and all of that. But the big thing that came up this year for us was really seeing how health and the medical system is controlled by higher powers.
That think they're
and then I hate to say government in general, but it's because I think it's bigger than that. It's more than that. It's big tech, it's big pharma, it's government, it's all of it. Really having their hand in, or thinking they should have their hand in what goes in my body and how I should be living my life from a health standpoint and from a medical standpoint. And so we kind of just, you know, just to be honest, I thought about it a little bit because I understood big pharma's role and in big ag and all of that with our food. But it never really affected me on a personal level until this year when I was witnessing this information coming through that made zero sense from a health perspective. Like it just, when you think about it, for me, from a nurse as being an RN and knowing what things are good for us and the science that we've had for decades that you just like peer-reviewed real science, real data, to just, I'm just going to say it, to not mask, that you should be, you know, that those kinds of things should be, those are PPE that you are fitted for at the hospital, you're trained on, like you don't just stick grandma's curtains over your face and think that is going to be okay. Like it doesn't work that way. That's just not that's not what our science has told us for decades. And any industrial hygienist who's been in the system for a long time, and if you don't know what that is, please search out industrial hygienists and what their role is. They are the ones that go out and teach doctors and nurses and medical professionals how to don a PPE and how to do it right and what conditions you have to have in your environment to be wearing something over your face.
They go into many factories and
anywhere.
Workplaces to teach people how to keep contaminants out.
Anywhere that you would be putting something over your mouth to that interacts with your respiratory system, that needs to be done and monitored by a professional, especially when you're talking about a work situation. So anyway, just things kept coming up throughout the year that I was like, am I living in the freaking Twilight Zone right now? Like, what is happening? Like, this doesn't go like any kind of pandemic preparedness that you can go back and research. We didn't follow any of it. And we didn't do any of it. So what in the hell is happening? So for us, it was like just one thing after another to me just kept coming up. Like it just wasn't making sense and still hasn't made sense in so many different ways. And where we get super passionate about it is when it comes to your personal body, your personal sovereignty. You are a human being made in the image of God, and you have every right to make those decisions for yourself, what is healthy and not healthy for you. Like nobody else should be telling you that. That is a personal choice. And you seek out counsel and advice from those that you trust in the medical system or not the people on your television sitting behind a freaking camera telling you like
the puppets.
Yeah. So anyway, like really what it comes down to is we really wanted to talk on this topic because the biggest message that I want to get across today is honoring your own body, going inward for the answers, seeking out your team, and really like trust your intuition on what makes sense for you from a health perspective, and question everything. Question whether or not that makes sense to put something over your face, and I don't want to make this whole podcast about masking, but it really is a big topic when it comes to your health and keeping your immune system strong. And it's not so much just putting it on here and there, which, I would question it does anything, but it's more the people that are wearing it for long periods of time, not properly, and in not expecting some kind of adverse reaction, specifically with our children. And that's my biggest, that's where I would take to the grave the whole issue with our children being masked. But health freedom in general this year is something I think has changed me personally in my mission moving forward, and, kind of what I never thought I would be, so passionate about a topic, but this year has made me like extremely passionate and want to just help people understand that, I hate to say your body, your choice, but that's, really what it comes down to. Like, it's not up to the television or the government to tell you what to do with your health and what to take and what to wear. Like, you have to really go inward and see what is best for you and your body and your health.
Yeah. Excuse me. I think it's important why we're so passionate about it is because we don't take lightly what we put in our body or on our body, and we haven't in a really long time, which is why we're so passionate about health and wellness. It's because we do our due diligence in all of those things.
Yeah.
So from the very beginning, when we were being told these things, and and of course we listened, and we were eyes wide open, open-minded. In the beginning, a little bit nervous too, but then we started really doing our research, and, we've been following very reputable doctors and scientists, virologists, and people who are genuinely, authentically doing the work, and people that we have admired and followed for years and years since we've been in the health and wellness business industry, passion, all of it. Experiencing it ourselves, we have been following all of these doctors, and they started putting up the red flags to us. And I think a lot of our crew, our tribe, our community were like starting to question our questioning it. And so there was a lot of judgment there too that we were having toward us, and which was totally fine. We're used to that.
Yeah, I was going to say that's kind of
that's kind of our jam. But when we were listening to ourselves and started doing our own research, going down the rabbit hole, if you will, we learned a lot. And it is when we turned off the TV that we were actually able to get valid information. And so that's when we became really passionate about it, and we became really advocates for our own selves and our families and for our friends, and shared as much as we possibly could, because we started to learn that our freedoms were at stake, and they still are.
Yeah.
And so, which is why we felt like this was such an important topic to bring up. When you have somebody trying to control what you put in your body and outside of your body, and how you live your day-to-day life, and it's coming from people who are okay with you eating artificial food coloring and putting chemicals in, all over your yard and your home, and okaying the ingredients that actually cause us cancer and heart disease and all kinds of endocrine disruptors. And so we're talking, this is us coming at it knowing that they okay all of these things for us.
Yeah.
That they and they kept all of the fast food places open, and big businesses open. We watched all of our friends' small businesses close, and there's just so much to this. And so we were putting all of the pieces of the puzzle together and realizing that the people who were actually controlling the narrative, and the people who were telling us how to live our lives and what to put in our bodies, and if you don't put this in your body, then you don't actually get the freedoms that other people get. Those are the people who are also making money off of us being sick. They're making money off of what you're putting in your body, that they're telling us to put in our body. And they're all connected to telling us how to live. So when you sit back and you think about that, and you truly dig deep, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's not
follow the money.
You follow the money.
Follow the money, and your answers are there.
Yeah, we're already a culture who is in a lifestyle that supports disease. And
right. The whole sick care
imbalance
versus healthcare system, which we've talked about.
You can go back to that previous episode that we did on this, but you have to understand that our culture in the United States is not in alignment with health and wellness. It's in alignment with taking care of the symptoms and the disease. And so again, here we are. We have a problem, and we're going to solve it by giving you a drug and
giving you more chemicals.
Yeah, and then now you don't have a choice, because you can't fly if you don't do it, or you can't come to work, and it's a lot of coercion and pressure. And so with health freedom, I think it's really important, and Jen and I talk about this often, is it's a choice. We all have a choice. So you choose to go through the drive-through and get, fast food, and however that treats your body. You choose to make all of these different decisions, and how you're going to, how you're going to live your life. But it's not something that someone can tell me to do or you to do, or it's not okay.
It's never going to be okay.
It's not okay.
It is the cross that I will go down on. Like it'll never be okay for somebody that I know has ill intentions. I just want to clarify that. I'm sure there are people that work for the pharmaceutical companies that actually are great people that love their job. They are probably scientists that's what they love to do, and they go to work and they think they're helping. But there are the people that are making decisions above them that do not have the best interest of humanity at heart. And all you have to do is look at our history all the way back to early 1900s to understand why we are where we are with Big Pharma. The history tells you that we have to question everything, and we can't.
Science tells you to question, and now they're telling us follow the science, but don't question anything.
Right, and that's not science. And that's not science. Science is that you are always questioning. Things are always changing, and you're always re-looking at everything. And so, for us to, I guess, what it really comes down to is we just really encourage everybody to listen to themselves, listen to their intuition, and do your own homework on things, and really, obviously, turn off the TV if you haven't done that already, because that's not accurate information coming across your television. It used to be a long time ago. It's not anymore. That has changed over the years. And so that's just not where you want to get your information. And trust your own self when it comes to, and find your people that you can trust. And I think that's a big one too. Like, you already mentioned the doctors and scientists that we are connected to both personally and through just different channels of information. But even my personal doctor now, who I just 100% trust and love, she says the same thing. And so it's finding your people that you are in alignment with, that you can trust and make decisions, because we all have to it's not for everybody. Medicine has never been and will never be one size fits all. What is good for me could be poison for you, and what is poison for you could be good for me. And we have to remember that. And that's part of understanding what is right for you and advocating for yourself. And
I think
diving deep into that.
I think too, what big red flags for us this year in just the start of it was that it was really all about an agenda to get the shot out there. And it was never about what we can do to improve our health and wellness to begin with.
Still waiting on that email to come through, or that on the television.
Well, yeah. So it's kind of like,
Still waiting.
There's so much that we were doing from a preventative standpoint and to keep our bodies healthy. And you can be doing everything right and still get it. I got it. My whole family got it, and I got it the worst. And I'm probably the healthiest from a food and what I put in my body and on my body and stress and all of that. I probably put the most energy into it, and I had it the worst. And so it doesn't mean that you're not going to get something, excuse me, but it's important to know the messages that are being put out there. We weren't even talking about treatment. We were silencing all of these amazing doctors that were like, hey, we have a treatment. We've 100% have success rate and have had no patients go into the hospital with our treatment plans. And they were being silenced, literally discredited,
threatened,
taken off of the platforms that they were able to speak on, threatened their license to be taken away for giving vitamin C and vitamin D and talking about vitamin D. I mean, doctors that we have been following for years and years who are all about functional medicine, treating the root cause and supporting the body.
Amazing MDs.
Yeah, being deplatformed. And so we put all these puzzle pieces together, and you do realize and then you're being told, nope, you can't do that. Nope, you can't get this. And now a whole nother story is FDA trying to ban all kinds of great plant-based supplements from being able to get over the counter. They want to only be able to get them from a doctor or a prescription. And so you kind of start to put all of these things together, and you have to realize that you have to question. So our point with all of this, like Jen was saying too, is that do your research, do your due diligence, and don't just let people tell you what you do with your body without figuring it out on both sides.
Questioning all avenues, and diving deep into all of it. And I think the good point to make here is that if people don't know this already, you should know and understand that the jab, the shot, because it's not really a vaccine, but the shot is could not be approved for emergency use if there was a treatment that was working. So just think about that for a second. All these doctors who were saying, hey, I have 100% success rate in treating this. Here's what I'm doing. They're being silenced. And so
there were also some bunk studies that came out, and even one being published in the Lancet that actually ended up retracting it because it was false. It was a false study, and it was all based on hydrochloroquine having adverse reactions, but it was you can go look up all of that research, but that was when they were pulling those doctors who were saying, hey, we're treating with hydrochloroquine, we're treating with ivermectin, and you have to catch it at the very beginning. And so there's so much that we can talk about, but there were reasons that they were quieting and hushing and deplatforming and discrediting all of these doctors. It's because they couldn't push through the emergency shot. So, we'll be the first ones to say we are not anti-vaxxers. That word came from the pharmaceutical industry, just so you all know the history behind that. It was a marketing campaign. And our children are vaccinated too.
We're vaccinated.
And we are until I got to, now I would say on my third child, it was a completely different story when she started having some reactions, that's when I went down the rabbit hole.
Well, that's also in timeline wise where it all changed too. Like our kids, like we got 7 vaccines, our kids get 70. Like, what?
Yeah. And so we started learning more and more, and we started making better choices and for our family and for ourselves. And that's when it changed for us. And that's when we started questioning things. And so that's the whole point of all of this is do your research and find the right people. And if you're unsure where to start, reach out to us, reach out to really anyone that you see is questioning things, because there are so many people out there, and everybody that we follow has the best of intentions. You have to realize that people aren't questioning the narrative to cause uproar. We're questioning the narrative because of what's best for us and best for our health and our freedoms. And this is something that we're doing for our children and their generation. And I mean, our track record right now for the past 25 years is not great from a health standpoint in America. So if you look at that alone and realize that we don't have to change something, if we don't change something, we're just going to continue to spiral into complete out of control. And so that's where we're coming from. It really is from a place of love, and you have to realize that a lot of this other narrative is very fear-based, and you have to take care of your body first, and you have to take care of your body and your children. And really everybody else needs to do that for themselves too. This is not about pushing anything into anyone else.
But I want to add too, for me, I was like super ignorant to politics. Like I never cared about politics. Don't really.
We're all in now.
Yeah. I did not. And I even like forgot about, like I never paid attention to what the Constitution, like I learned about it back in the day, but I didn't. Now I have this whole new like lease on life when it comes to understanding what our founding fathers did with the Constitution and what my rights are. And that has been super eye-opening. And also, if you haven't, like for us, I saw like I went and voted, but I voted for kind of like my friends or who so-and-so said to vote for. I paid attention to certain things locally, like millages and things for my schools and those important things, but never did I realize the importance of understanding what is happening at a local level, what is happening with our school boards. And now I'm all
democracy
in. Yeah.
In general is
democracy in general and our freedoms and what goes into that and what it's now taking to defend that. And all the people that died to defend our freedom as America, this year has really been an eye-opener for me when it comes to that. And not just freedom to go about my day, but freedom to choose what I put on my face, and freedom to choose when I'm going to close my business or not close my business, and freedom
how we're going to handle our team,
what I'm putting into my body. Like this is so. Never did I ever imagine like having to dive into this topic and really understand what's at stake here and what the people who died to protect our freedoms were really feeling and trying to understand. And
I think it's really important to close with what we can do, because you can sit back and you can scroll through social media and you can rant and you can rave and you can share your piece on with everybody, but if you're not actually doing something, then we're not moving the needle and we're not making a difference. And so here's a few things that we have done. One was you find your people that they're like-minded, not because you want somebody to support your narrative, but so you have an outlet to talk about things. And so to learn from each other. And so we created a group with another friend and started out as just us texting back and forth. And then we said, hey, let's get together once a month. And we got together in our group. I don't even know how large it is now, but we're still meeting once a month. And we've had local people from the legislature and the government come and speak to us and educate us on what we can do from that standpoint. We're also talking about how we're all handling it. All different schools represented there from a parent standpoint. all with the intention of protecting our children, protecting our rights, staying healthy.
Make sure that our kids are safe when they go to school. And
And psychologically, so many parents talking about their children and how they've suffered this year from not being able to have any sort of social interaction for quite a while, wearing masks over their faces, still wearing masks over their faces.
Their anxiety from that, their claustrophobia. We just don't know what we've done to our children with this. We won't know that for a long time, but the science tells us that it's wrong. And, I'm willing to fight for my kids when it comes to this. That's one topic I'm not willing to let go of, but it really is about finding people you can explore these things with and then getting involved. I had really, like I said, just kind of ignorant to all that. And now I'm going to my school board and planning on speaking next month at it. And I'll be paying way more attention to what my local officials that we voted in are, how they're voting and what they're doing to keep us safe and protected and keep my freedoms alive.
Yes, because they're there to represent us. They're not there to control us, all of them.
Exactly.
So it's really important that we do what we can and not stick our head in the sand any longer and write to your people who represent you. That's something that we've been doing a lot now.
Call and write.
Yeah. And so get together, reach out to people that you can learn from. And really it's just
keep an open mind.
Yeah. Keeping an open mind because, we have to realize that we're always learning and we're always growing, and that's just a part of life in general. And so, once you know better, you can do better. There's no shame in anything from this past year. This was something new for all of us. And, but we do encourage you to really do your due diligence through all of this and continue to
honor your body
and your soul, your intuition. That's where you're going to know the difference between what's in alignment and what is not in alignment with you.
100%. All right, friends.
Time to wrap it up.
Thanks for listening in on we know this is a topic that can be controversial, and we understand that. And, but like Christine said, we've been kind of on the controversial end of things for a long time, or I would say not the mainstream things for a long time. And we're okay with that. And this is how we're being guided. This is how our intuition is guiding us. And this is how we are in alignment with what is true for us. And we're okay with that.
Yeah. And our intentions are totally from love and from a place of really pure wellness and health and balance and
love for humanity.
Yeah. Just to be able to live our best lives while we're here.
Yep. So thanks for joining. Lots of love.
Peace out.
Thanks again, friends, for joining us today on our latest podcast episode. We love sharing this with you. So please share the love if you feel called to all your friends and family.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on what we're going to talk about next. It's always so juicy.
And of course, you can find us on social, Instagram, Vibe Well Lifestyle, and Vibe Well on Facebook. Love y'all.
And if you're in town, make sure you stop by and see us at Vibe Well too.
Yeah, we would love to see your cute face.
See you soon.
Bye.